North Korea, they do a lot of like propaganda.
Yeah, but to work in North Korea, you have to get kidnapped, and then they make you work. And it was in the book that my wife Tara and I wrote. We listed some of the cities in the United States that sort of have the most work, voiceover work going on in them. And this gentleman was asking if there have been any cities to sort of rise in and fill that. I guess it depends on if you count other countries like Canada, Shanghai, Singapore, where a lot of the work has gone because it's cheaper. I don't know. It's hard for me to judge necessarily. I haven't checked around lately to see if any cities have sprung up. I don't think that they have. People can always correct me on that.
There's small markets all over the country, but
yeah.
As far as this stuff in games and animation, it's predominantly Los Angeles with New York and the Texas.
Yeah, if you want to make a living at doing just that and nothing else, it's Los Angeles.
Yeah. Really
Possibly New York, close second, but really Los Angeles is where most of the games get recorded, most of the cartoons get recorded, most of the anime gets dubbed.
And even in Texas, where they now do almost all of that sweet dubbing, there aren't too many people, I think, who are doing what you and I do, which is just subsisting from the kind of work we do. Like, I know a lot of people, and no judgments, I did it too. I was a friggin' janitor for years. But they're wait tables, and except for the people who've been there for a decade and who are directors now too, or producers now too.
It's hard. It's a lot of people say, "Hey, I want to get into dubbing. What do I do?" And the first thing I say is, "Awesome, I love dubbing too, but you can't limit yourself just to that. You cannot make a living doing just dub. You can dub and wait tables, or you can dub and do voiceover for commercials and for video games and for other stuff, but you can't do just that. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay enough."
Yes, you.
Oh, second jobs we've done before. Yeah, I was not a secretary. I was an executive assistant. At Citibank when I was in New York. But I worked in a bakery. I worked in a video store. One of my favorite sort of stupid jobs was I got hired once to pretend to work in an office, because it was when before the big .com crash. I was in New York and doing that basement theater stuff, and there were these .com companies that would want investors to invest, and the investor would say, "Well, we need to come to your office." But these guys didn't have offices. They worked out of their garage. And they created this company in their garage. So what they did is they would rent an office space and put fake computers in. They would rent computers for the day and hire a bunch of actors to come in and look like they worked in the office. And then they would bring the investors in, and the investors would go, yes, what a great setup. We'll throw millions into your company. And then the investor would leave, and the flats would fall over. They'd be fake everything. And I got hired one day to go in and pretend that I worked in an office, which is meta on so many different levels.
Very similar to working in an office.
Right, yeah. I did the same thing.
I did a lot of data entry. I waited tables for a month and ran screaming because one of the busboys was like, "You know how to work a computer? What the fuck are you doing here, man?" So I got into data entry. I was a janitor at a theater for like 2 years, and then eventually I figured out that I was good at talking and before voiceover, and I worked for theaters in New York and then in Los Angeles, calling people and saying, "Hey, we need donations for the theater." I got the late Don LaFontaine to donate $75,000 to the theater.
Yes, sir.
I know both of you were in the If there ever was a time that you were fortunate enough, Yuri, to have Liam in pre-roll with one of these crazy, "We're not here, was there ever a time you were expecting to just go right into your line and just had to break for a sec from whatever?
That happens. When we're dubbing, because we dub solo, if you're the first person to go in and record on a show, you've got nothing to go off of except for the Japanese. But if you're sort of later in the game, they may have already recorded several of the other characters, and sometimes they'll play what they've recorded. And sometimes that helps me, and sometimes it hurts me because I know a lot of those other actors, and sometimes it's really funny. And I know there were definitely times when you were already, when they played you, and to me, and I would have to stop and go, wait, that was Liam, right? Play it again, and then, or what's really funny is when we do blooper reel stuff, or we'll throw in something really gross.
Yeah, if the engineer or director is cool, they'll let you leave landmines for
right.
the other actors, which they'll then delete after you have somebody's head up.
But yeah, and so you can leave like little things and then they'll play it and totally crack you up. And they go, yeah, they wanted me to play that for you. Okay, we'll actually do it this time. There have been some funny ones.
Anyone in the back? Questions in the back? Well, okay, the girl's being forced to put her hand up. Yes.
I don't know if it's allowed or not.
Sorry, she was being forced, so we have to take hers and then we'll take hers.
Yes, we take yours.
I don't know if it's allowed or not, but can I have a request from Liam?
Is it for us to make out? Because we were already making out back there.
I can only handle 3 hours a day. 3 hours is the limit. My man wife, Sam Riegel, is getting here tomorrow, and I can't be making out here.
Don't anybody tell Sam that I made those jokes, because he'll get jealous.
What a treat for you to have the 2 most preeminent married couples in the voiceover industry in LA. You've got Yuri and Tara, and me and Sam.
It's true.
I blame you. Because, the funny part, he was supposed to do this, and now he has me stuck up here with these two. We're going to talk after.
I learned that from my help.
What was the request?
I mean, if you want to, that's okay, but... Okay, can you say something to me in Fukuyama's voice?
And say again?
Can you say something to me in Fukuyama's voice?
Fukuyama's? Oh, jeez, I haven't done Fukuyama in ages.
Wait, Fukuyama was in Girls Bravo, right?
Yeah.
Is that the crazy? He was my favorite character in Girls Bravo.
Exactly.
All right, just trying to remember a line.
Yeah, no,
that's ages ago.
Of all the boys in Mizuno High School, I'm easily the best looking.
And if Stephanie Shea were here, I'd squeeze her boobs.
I miss Stephanie. She was cool.
And then you, because you thought it was your turn, but it wasn't actually your turn, but now it's your turn. Oh, I know, yeah.
Specifically, us or the characters? The characters. Nice.
Oh, wait, no, I got to hear this. Hold on.
That's not true.
I'm listening.
I know that there's love affairs with Gara and Rock Lee making out on the beach. I know that exists. It's emailed to me.
I know that exists because I wrote that. I have read some fan fiction, but every now and then somebody will send me fan fiction, like, will you read my story that I wrote? And unfortunately, I just don't have time to add something. It's gross.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to get in trouble for asking this myself. Oh, Lord.
But
What is the weirdest or most interesting fan fiction you've ever been sent? I know I'm getting in trouble. I already know.
I've never had writing sent. I've just had artwork sent to me, which please stop because if the feds find it on my computer, I'm going to go to jail. I've
never
gotten
thought about
drawings.
that. I've never thought about it that way. I should burn my computer.
I got an ink drawing scanned in of Naruto and Gaara, totally nude, like coitus. And I'm a liberal, lefty liberal. I love gay people, straight people. Whatever you like, man. Whatever you like. Just I can't have on my hard drive. have drawings?
Photographs.
Do not give her options.
Just have them all be Tsunade, please. Tsunade only. That's my predilection, just leave it at that.
We have a question in the back. Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever used your voice acting talents outside of the studio for evil?
For evil. That's for evil.
We
I was
all
hoping that's where you were
have.
going. I've used them occasionally for good, but it turns out evilly. Like somebody will say, "Hey, my 6-year-old or my 5-year-old loves Ben 10. He's standing over here, will you totally blow his mind?" And I don't do this anymore because of what's happened. Because inevitably I'll go over there and they'll be all happy and everything, and the mom will go, "Hey, this is my friend Ben. He's Ben 10," and I say, "Hey, it's hero time," and they're like, because I don't look like Ben 10. So that just messes with their heads, man. It's cruel. It's cruel. But for evil, use your powers.
No, I mean, accidentally. It's a thin line between making my own kids laugh and making them scared shitless. Sometimes my daughter, who's 2.5, will be like, "Do it again, Dada, do it again, do it again, do it."
Oh, wow.
Never intentionally.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I love the chemistry between you two and Gun Sword. Any interesting stories like that one?
Other than the sex.
You asked for that.
That's
one.
not interesting. That's banal.
Sure, that's more insect.
Don't you guys just love this panel?
I love this panel all day. Or we could do one of those after hours panels where we can really.
It's like the hentai Sartre's no exit.
That just brings back memories from YaoiCon. That's
Well, I remember you were directing that, or were you writing that? Were you adapting it? Yeah, both. All that. Okay, so you were in it, and you were writing it, and you were directing it. So it was interesting for me to be working on that with you. But interesting stories about that
I
movie.
think this is the first time I directed you.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I think
You
you're
didn't
right.
suck, you were really good.
It was a really cool show, actually.
my mind is totally going in different directions.
It was before I sucked? Is that what you said?
No crazy, yeah, before you jump the shark. There's no crazy story. I mean, we make a lot of perverse jokes up here, but good people, there's a reason why like Tom Hanks works all the time, because he's sane and he's friendly and affable. He works hard, he shows up on time, and the cream kind of rises to the top. He doesn't suck. I mostly don't suck.
So you could just be really sexy like Troy Baker and work.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you.
I had a question for Yuri, if that's all right.
That is all right.
I'm a big fan of Gurren Lagann, but I had a question about it. Would you say that's one of your funnest experiences you've ever had doing voice work for it?
As far as Gurren Lagann is concerned, is it one of my funnest because it was such a great show? It always ranks in my top favorite because for several reasons. One, it's just such a great show. I mean, it's really smart and it's well written and it's beautiful to watch. And it's giant robots, but it's more than giant robots. They manage to work just about everything in there. Plus, I get to play a character who has a real arc. He starts off in a very specific place, and then they tease it in the very first episode. They're like, and he's going to turn into this guy, so get ready for the ride. And in the end, he gets to grow up and save the universe. I mean, and so yeah, that's because it was one of those perfect storm shows where the design, and the animation and the acting, the directing, and the writing, and the music on that one. That's something that doesn't always happen. The music was so fantastic. That is one of my favorite experiences, especially in dubbing, because it was such a great show. Absolutely.
The young lady all went back.
Kyoko rank on your top 10? Or is it even there?
Let me just say something about Kyoko. Why won't they let us do any more? I mean, and I know it's because Genya went under and Genya was doing it, and the license fell away, and then it fell into Funimation. Funimation said, well, we're going to sell as many. If these box sets sell really well, maybe we'll relicense it and all that. And it's one of those things. It ended up being a money thing.
So there's more of it?
There's more of it. Last time I went to Japan. Sorry?
There's season 3. You guys.
Yeah, season 3. I mean, the last time I went to Japan, they were airing season 3 on TV, and I turned the TV on and they were airing it. I just, like a single tear. It was the first. I'm trying to think if it was the only time. It was definitely the first time in my career that they said, "Hey, you don't have to audition for this. We want you to know if you want to play this role, it's yours." And part of it was because the character's name was Yuri and my name is Yuri. They thought that would be funny. I love that guy, and it was a show that sort of, it was like yaoi, but it wasn't yaoi, but it had so much going for it. It was just a great show, and it does rank up there as well. And I just wish they would let us finish it.
Do you think Sam feels the same way?
Yes. Yes.
He'll be here tomorrow.
Yes. You can ask him.
We have time for one more question. I want to pick the lady actually in the pink with the belt ears. Awesome.
What is, for both of you gentlemen there, what is the favorite show of yours that you have not worked on?
In anime?
Yes, in anime.
Favorite anime show that we wish we could have worked on?
Show or
we didn't work
No,
on?
just something that you watch and you really admire.
Wow.
Akira.
Yeah. And some of us, and by some of us I mean Johnny, was lucky enough to, when they redid it, he got to get in on that. Because we're nerds, I'm sure there are a lot of shows. All the stuff that and weird stuff like Supernatural Beast City or Ninja Scroll or all the ones that really, when I was watching anime and then something would come out and I'd watch it and it would just ratchet it up to a whole new level for me. I would see things that I'd never seen before, like what happened with Akira and I'm trying to think of it.
That's just one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm sure you forget anime.
Yeah.
Fucking Johnny.
That's a long list.
Nice. Well, you guys,
wow, no.
Wow.
It was there, and then...
he actually had a brain fart moment. Well, you guys, that actually concludes...
Back to tentacle, great.
That concludes the end of our panel. Give these guys a big round of applause. We're awesome! And also to let you guys know, if you guys want to see a really, really cool treat, tomorrow actually at 4:30, I'm going to be hosting these two and along with other voice actors in Whose Line Is It Anime. So please come back to us. Alright, you guys have a good day. See you later.
If we didn't make asses of ourselves.
And also, autograph session will be right in here with everyone 5 to 7. Thank you.